F-Zero. Personally, one of my favorite racing franchises since the early days on the Super Nintendo. An innovative game series that was ahead of its time and is notorious for its fast-paced racing, innovative visuals thanks to Mode 7 graphics of the Super NES, and ridiculous difficulty, especially in F-Zero GX. But after 6 games were released on home and portable consoles, aside from expansions, Satellaview games, and arcade cabinets, the franchise lays dormant since 2004, the last game being F-Zero Climax on the Game Boy Advance, which was released exclusively in Japan. That's 12 years as of this video. So eventually one asks the question, what happened? Why did F-Zero suddenly fizzle out into obscurity? Well, I can possibly explain the reason for its absence after so many years. Some of these explanations are based on facts, while others can be just labeled as theory and speculation. Regardless, this is my insight as to why the F-Zero franchise vanished. Reason 1. Poor sales. Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto commented in a 2007 interview regarding Star Fox and F-Zero, stating that consumers got very excited about the idea of those games, but the games themselves did not deliver. In the case of F-Zero GX, despite being well received by critics, it just didn't do as well as they hoped financially, possibly due to certain factors that I'll point out later on. Reason number 2. F-Zero's steep learning curve. The F-Zero games are known for being notoriously difficult and at times almost impossible to beat. Having a good challenge is one thing in racing games, but making a game too hard on the first playthrough can turn players away before they can unlock the rest of the in-game bonus content in GX, for example, which is nearly impossible. Reason number 3. They ran out of gas. Takaya Imamura, who worked directly on F-Zero since the first game, said in 2003, quote, "I found myself at something of a loss as to how we can take the franchise further past F-Zero GX and AX." What does he mean by this? Seeing how the franchise experimented on newer gameplay mechanics in later installments like roller coaster themed tracks, random hazards, customizable track and vehicles, among other things, they lacked innovation to come up with new gimmicks for future games, unless there's a new peripheral that's in development. And reason number 4, racing games shifting focus towards other subgenres. Aside from F-Zero, other titles in the futuristic racing subgenre like Extreme G, the Wipeout series, and even Star Wars racing games, which were common back then, are virtually non-existent in this generation of gaming. The market has since divided the racing genre into 3 popular subcategories: sim racing like Gran Turismo, arcade racing like Need for Speed, and kart racing like Mario Kart. The first 2 focused on real vehicles, while Mario Kart influenced other companies to make kart clones just to compete against Nintendo. Now, with all this pointed out, will there be a chance for F-Zero to make a triumphant return? Well, I can say that there is some interest in the franchise, if you count the references in games like Mario Kart, WarioWare, Super Smash Bros., and in Nintendo Land. In a 2012 interview, Shigeru Miyamoto was surprised yet puzzled to see that fans want a new F-Zero game, and, for the time being, hasn't been able to come up with anything new for it. Interestingly, in 2015, a report surfaced that in 2011, Nintendo asked Burnout developer Criterion Games to develop an F-Zero demo for the Wii U, but they were unable to do so since the developer was focusing on multiple ports for Need for Speed Most Wanted. Interestingly, there is a small glimmer of hope for F-Zero and the futuristic racing subgenre to return, thanks in part to shin'en Multimedia, who introduced their Fast Racing series, Fast Racing League on the Wii, and Fast Racing Neo on the Wii U. The games are often compared to F-Zero, and some may even call it a spiritual successor to the series. Considering that it was released and well received in a market that mainly focuses on sim racing and kart racing, there's still a very small chance that F-Zero will come back eventually. There just needs to be a market for it. If not, maybe rebrand it and make a spin-off title with Captain Falcon in an open-world adventure. In conclusion, aside from F-Zero's steep difficulty which distanced newcomers to the series, I believe it was the lack of competition in the futuristic racing subgenre that caused the franchise to nearly fade out of existence in favor of more realistic racing games. But if there is enough interest in reviving F-Zero, the franchise will eventually return. Nintendo has listened on occasion and did bring back Star Fox, so only time will tell. This has been Hadouken Dude. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. Take care.